welcome you to downtown Houston. I'm Ed Cohen with the former Chicago Bulls guard, Jay Williams. And Jay, from the land of the space program, this one's ready for takeoff.
And Ed, you have to give a lot of credit to Daryl Morey. He's done a great job in reviving this franchise.
The opening tip, won by the Rocket.
Substitutions, Houston.
That's a turnover. It goes the other way. Defense forces the turnover, and it leads to points.
I love the drive to the basket there. Instead of trying to go around or over, go through.
It's Rockets ball to Harden. Screen coming. It's Harden. James Harden. 2 for 3 now here in the first.
It looks like he's using his ball handling to feel the game out. I know it looks like he's just playing around out there trying to get the fans going. That is true, but he's also finding his rhythm.
To Gilgeous-Alexander. Leonard. No good. Westbrook across the timeline. Down for... Oh, the whistle. Jay, take your hands off of me.
Welcome to New Age basketball. You blow on me, that's a foul.
Tucker.
2 minutes left in the first quarter.
Harden shoots. James Harden. 3 for 4. Good start. The challenge defending a guy who can be a 1 or a 2.
We're not old men talking about this game. We don't define players by positions anymore. Is he a 1 or is he a 2? No, he's James Harden. He's a scorer and an elite passer.
It's Russ at the controls. To Harden. Montrezl Harrell rejects it. Can't connect from in close. To Gilgeous-Alexander. A lot of contact on that play. He plays through it and scores.
Big shout out to the athletic trainer for this team. It's obvious you've been doing all the preparation required of your team in the weight room in the offseason. Flex on them a little bit.
And the rebound taken in by Beverly. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
And did you see the lift on the shot? Did you see the ball release off the hand? To be able to have the concentration to finish with such a feathery touch in the midst of contact, that's something special to watch.
And he hits.
Well, they have such great flow to their offense this evening. The ball isn't sticking to one player individually. It's moving around the perimeter, and it's zipping. They're playing with a special cohesiveness.
Shot from the lane won't go.
Woo! I like that intensity on that play. That's how you actually dig in the dirt and do your job on the defensive end.
Kawhi Leonard. That's now 4. He hasn't missed. Houston takes over.
Attack mode isn't a switch that you can just turn on and off. He needs to do more of that. We need to see him penetrate, get into that lane, and create.
Add 2 points to the board.
You see, you can't actually get mesmerized by the ball. You actually have to focus on the dribbler's belly button. I know that may sound cheesy, but trust me, he can't go anywhere without his core.
And he's fouled. Very close, Jay. The results, he's going to the line.
There's a fine line between being active and being a detriment. You don't want to keep giving up extra possessions.
First one goes down. Goes 2 for 2 at the line. Long key from 3/4 court. That ends the first quarter. And a nice advantage right now for the Clippers. Jay Williams with you as we get things started here in the second quarter.
From the start, let's do it.
Substitutions, Houston. Substitutions, Los Angeles.
Hey, watch this game.
Harden against Paul George. James Harden. With that, he's 5 for 9.
It just seems like one of three things happen every time James Harden has the ball. Either he scores, he gets fouled, or he kicks it out to someone for a three. Pick your poison.
4-3.
To number 0.
Jay, the Clippers last year were 2 games better than 500. Pretty amazing when you think about what they dealt with.
Most definitely. But everything for this Clipper organization starts with Lou Williams. He is the stud for this team. It's his second time in his career he's been named 6th Man of the Year. And that's why they signed the 31-year-old to a 3-year, $24 million deal.
Knocks down the second free throw. Three for 3. Nice. Russ at the controls. To Capella. Slam dunk, Russell Westbrook.
It's easy to become mesmerized when you watch a player who can create off the dribble. We call that dancing. When you allow a player to dance with that much space, that's Prob City.
Russell Westbrook pins it. Out of bounds. Last touch by Russell Westbrook. George. Stuffs it down with authority. That has to feel deflating for the other side.
They've really came out and made a statement so far in this first half. Another powerful dunk, but another easy dunk. When are we going to see some defense?
Short jumper won't go down. Nice follow-up on the dunk there. He took it out on the rim that time.
Oh, there's no better feeling than after throwing that one down, hanging on the rim a little bit, looking at your opponent beneath you, making him recognize that's where you'll be the entire ball game.
Off the assist.
I'm not sure that wasn't an offensive foul, but take it when you can get it.
Harden. Screen coming. Harden. Couldn't keep it in. Off James Harden. To George. Paul George. 3 for 3 in this first half.
And last year, it seemed like PG really had a difficult time finding that next level elite PG. No doubt about it. This year, he needs to be playoff P all day, every day.
Kenneth Faried powers it down.
And when you get your prescription, you take your medicine and you call it a day.
Hey, switch, I got it.
To Kevin Knox. George matched up with Capella. Gets it to go. Didn't have many choices there. Lets it Fly.
Man, he's got the defender out there tap dancing like that on national TV. That's not a good sign.
They're drive by Westbrook, but a shot stays out. From long range. Man, that was a tough shot.
It doesn't matter if it's off the dribble, off a quick pass, or off an ISO. When the ball's in this young player's hands, something just feels right.
Houston with the basketball. Harden to Westbrook. And a whistle.
Ed, you can't lunge like that.
Harden. He was smothered and still gets it to go down.
Because in certain players' mind, it doesn't matter if they're amongst the trees or not. They're always going to be the giant in the paint.
Nothing going here on that drive. Scores from the post.
You feel that? I see the confidence building.
Harden in possession. Under a minute to go before halftime. Yes, and a foul. Hell of a chance at a three-point play.
Ed, you ever bail out of something at the last second? That's what I saw right there from the defender. We call that no man's land. They weren't really committed to getting out of the way, committing a hard foul, or taking the brunt of the contact.
Williams across the timeline. His guys holding the big lead. Lays it in off the alley-oop pass.
You normally don't see that, but that's the type of thing that keeps shooters in the league for a long time. Every once in a while, they venture into the paint.
It's Westbrook. Oh, Russell Westbrook. 4 out of 7.
When the ball's in his hands, we all knew what was going to happen.
LA Clippers with the basketball. George. Capella's on him. Stuffs it down with authority.
It's so amazing when you get a chance to see a player in his own space. It's almost as if the defense doesn't exist. He can go left, he can go right, he can attack. He's playing on that court by himself.
Driving right to the basket. Montrezl Harrell able to recover with the block. Nice pace, sets it up and slams it down. He'll let one fly from half court. A very one-sided first half of basketball as we are at halftime. Let's get you to our NBA Live studios in Orlando and hand it over to Jalen Rose for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Jalen.
The Clippers didn't hold back in that opening half. It was their playmaking, the way they gave each other scoring opportunities. That really impresses me. I love seeing unselfish basketball like that. Have a look at the leading scorers for the Los Angeles Clippers. The Rockets may be in the building, but they did not show up for this game. The way they struggle doesn't bode well for them at all. But if they got some fight in them, we'll know right away in the third quarter. These are the guys getting buckets for the Houston Rockets.
Field goals.
The Houston Rockets just couldn't get any of their shots to go in those first two quarters. They desperately need someone to step up and catch fire for them in the second half. Most of their bricks were laid in the opening quarter.
Player of the half.
I like this choice because he really put on a show in the opening half. There's a reason he's a fan favorite. Here we go with the top 3 plays.
Number 2. Number 1.
Fellas, back to you.
First half, very one-sided. What? It's a turnover as they head the other way.
Here's your chance to break this thing wide open.
Gordon with it. His guys down big. Can't connect from inside. Clippers have the basketball. To Paul George. Takes stock of the floor. George here against P.J. Tucker. Has a look. Oh, he was wide open. And it's not going to be pretty when they watch the video. Someone's getting chewed out.
This may sound cheesy, but sometimes you just need to sit back, get a tub of popcorn, and just enjoy the show, because that's what you're watching right now.
And he's going to the free throw line.
Sometimes when you get up big, you get a little careless. But attention to detail through the end, that's how you avoid unnecessary fouls.
Austin Rivers, a couple of free throws on the way. Career mark of 64%. And he connects on the first free throw. Can't connect on the second, and he splits the pair. Paul George. To Kevin Knox. Oh, he had him there for a second. Count the bucket for 2.
Bodies bouncing all around on that layup with the offense winning that battle. But if the defense keeps up that kind of pressure, good things are bound to happen.
Tucker to Rivers. Oh, blocked away.
Just incredible timing on that swat.
Goes reverse to lay it in.
Showing you why he belongs here in this league with the best of the best. Efficient scoring out of the rookie here tonight.
We get a whistle and a timeout for Houston as their coach wants to get a word in with his guys here in this third quarter. Gordon against Paul George. It goes down.
What a move. If you're on defense, you can't be caught flat-footed there.
To George. Old school. Backs his man down for the basket.
And there's nothing more mentally intimidating for your opponent than when your own teammates are unselfish and make sure that you get the ball because they want you to drop 70 on them, maybe like Devin Booker did last year.
To P.J. Tucker. Short jumper stays out.
Self-check.
Oh, the touch at the rim. Count it.
Way to hit.
There you go. I like seeing scoring coming from unlikely sources.
Rivers to bring it into the front court. Down a bundle. The drive, right to the basket. He cruises in for two. Too easy.
No doubt about where that one was headed.
George to Kevin Knox. Couldn't keep it in. Out off Paul George. Gordon with it. He'll run the offense. Down to Chandler. And he's fouled. Very close, Jay. Free throws coming up.
Just because a team's winning doesn't mean the refs are going to put away the whistle. Play right all the way through.
Tyson Chandler.
Off the mark on the first free throw. And he's able to hit the second after missing that first one. To Kevin Knox. George sizing up Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon snatching it out of the air.
That kid can block out the sun, Ed.
He was all over him. Missed the shot. No free throws. Beyond the arc for three. Not easy.
You know what I love about this kid, Ed? His eyes never once wandered to where the defender was. They stayed fixated right on his target, the basket. That's why he's a prolific shooter.
Austin Rivers. Gordon, tough matchup against George. To P.J. Tucker. For three, buries it on the catch and shoot.
Great shot by the offense, but the defense, you can't afford to collapse off that penetration. I'd rather a team take a tough two than a wide open three.
To Paul George. Fires the three. Message received. Well defended.
Shooters shoot. Period. I don't want to hear any excuses. That's why you're on the floor. You keep doing what you're doing with that superior confidence.
Just inside the arc. At the buzzer. 3 quarters down. The fourth quarter coming up. It's been all Clippers so far. It's the Rockets in control of the basketball.
Into the game for the Houston Rockets, number 13, James Harden. Into the game for the Los Angeles Clippers, number 5, Montrezl Harrell.
Harden. Here's the step back.
Can we all just agree that that handle is next level, but that jumper's wet too?
To George. They've slowed down the pace. Now 3 on the shot clock. It's George for 2. That's usually one that he'll knock down. Gets it to go. Could have been more. A lot of contact, but no foul.
You know, it reminds me out of a story a legendary coach once told me. He said, if you ever get in a fight, you're not going to hit somebody with an open hand, correct? You'll probably break a finger. But if you hit somebody with a fist, what is that? That's 5 fingers working collectively together as one. That's how you deliver a knockout punch, and that's what we're seeing tonight.
And a whistle.
That's just a blatant foul. Maybe he's trying to make a statement.
Harden. And knocked knocks it down. And, Jay, the system produces once again.
And your big is the one making that happen. Every time he's involved in a PNR, he's slipping it, forcing that guy from the weak side to come down and help. Quick skip passes equal threes in the bank.
Fires the three, gets it to go. The coach cannot be happy with that closeout.
He's most definitely got the hot hand behind the three-point arc. Anytime your first-round pick is shooting like this, your GMs and owners just sit back and smile.
To P.J. Tucker. Harden. And it's Harrell who comes away with the rebound.
The game is won in the details. The team who has the most attention to the minutia is a team that wins the ball game. And from the beginning of this game, this team has been mentally engaged. I know the season's a long year, but when you come mentally engaged and you have attention to detail, whew, that's a scary thing to watch.
Yes, and the foul. And a chance at three coming up.
And I love the smile on the face of the offensive player. Sometimes luck is on your side. I don't know how that shot went in, but and one.
James Harden trying to cash in on a three-point play. A career. Free throw good, so they get the three-point play. But it's not much more than a drop in the bucket with the score right where it is. It's the Clippers with the possession now. To Paul George. Nice pass to get things going.
Ed, I have so much admiration for guys that continue to hunt their shot. They're playing the second half like it was the first 5 minutes of the ball game. Those natural-born leaders are guys that will consistently lead your team to the promised land.
James Harden and the Clippers with the rebound. Lobs it up. Oh, Jay, he commands the paint this time down.
You know, from a point guard perspective, one of the things that I learned when I played in the league was that the more I was willing to give the ball up, the harder other players were willing to run to their spots. The harder the bigs were running to the rim. The harder the three-point shooters were running to the three-point line because they knew they could be active recipients. And when they caught the ball, they knew exactly what to do with it.
Here comes the screen. Tough-looking shot there. Still gets it to go down.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives.
Oh, how about that? A three at the buzzer. That's going to bring some icy stares from the other bench. This one is now all over.
It's Jalen Rose, and it's time for the EA Sports post-game wrap-up. The Clippers were simply amazing in this contest. What really stood out for me is how many times they scored on second-effort plays. It takes heart to keep up that kind of execution, and these guys were relentless. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Los Angeles Clippers. The Rockets did not look good in this one, and neither did the score. My advice for these guys is not to watch any TV tonight, because it's not going to help them forget about this game. Everyone is going to be talking about this one. Check out the leading scores for the Houston Rockets.
Game track. Assists.
The Los Angeles Clippers showed off the kind of team chemistry that coaches love to see from their players. The more they moved the ball, it showed how much they trust each other. In the end, they got to win, and it looked like they had a great time doing it.
player of the game.
When you see these highlights, it's easy to see how this guy earned the award. His impact on the game wasn't lost on anyone. Here we go with the top plays.
Number 2. Number 1.
That does it for us. On behalf of the rest of the crew, good night.
die. Uno, dos, tres. Big bills. I fell in love with big wheels and quick thrills. My running tip drills, can't sit still. Don't give a if it kills. It mixed well. I'm only counting big bills. I fell in love with big wheels and quick thrills. My running tip drills, can't sit still. Don't give a if it kills. It mixed well. I'm only counting. Proceed with caution. I heard if you taste it, it only results in a hole in your heart. I take the whole cake and I won't leave a portion. It's only an organ. Thank God mama couldn't afford it. The loneliest orphan. I flip my misfortune and grow me a fortune. My rollie is scorching. They hated it slowly endorsing. Not coldly important. My beside me like Tommy and Martin. We ballin' your courtin'. The with your like we turning your heart in. She don't need a. She harder than money we countin'. Count it up. Count it up. Count it up. Count it. Count it up. Count it up. Count it up. Count it. Count it up. Count it up. Count it up. Count it. Can't take it when you die, but you can't live without it. Count it up. Count it up. Count it up. Count it. Count it up. Count it up. Count it up. Count it. Count it up. Count it up. Count it up. Count it. Can't take it when you die.
Baby girl, what you doing? Where your man? I just 50,000 in Japan. I ain't do no plan. These red bottoms on no Vans, and she telling all her friends I might put them on the gram. Baby girl, what you doing? Where your man? I just 50,000 in Japan. I ain't do no plan. These red bottoms on no Vans, and she telling all her friends I might put them on.
It's NBA action on EA Sports. Alongside the former Chicago Bulls guard, Jay Williams, I'm Ed Cohen. Jay, these guys are ready to go.
And people at home can't see me right now, but I'm stretching my arms, I'm stretching my legs. This is going to be one fast-paced game. Let's get to it.
This booth is all stretched out. The players gearing up. Let's get ready for the opening tip. The Phoenix Suns begin the game with the basketball. Paul George snatching it out of the air.
Ed, that's light work for a guy with his ability.
Slam dunk.
And if you're on defense on that last possession, no need to look over to the coach's bench, hold up your arms, wonder what did you do. Everybody got back, everybody communicated, everybody pointed. It was just better offense than there was defense.
Oubre, tough matchup against George. Wow, look at him dive for the loose ball. And that's going to get out of bounds, so it stays with Phoenix. Booker to Kelly Oubre. For three. Won't go down. Here comes the screen. To George. He'll get it down low to Harrell. And it's Booker who grabs the rebound. Paul George with the block.
That kid can block out the sun, Ed.
It's LA Clippers ball. Sets him up. A pass stolen by Phoenix. Takes stock of the floor. Over to the right side. Look out, Devin Booker. First couple didn't go. That one is true.
There's nothing the defense could really have done there. That's just a great shot.
Missed it. They weren't going to give that to him. Count the basket inside.
I don't know if the scouting report has made its way out here yet, but if anything, it says you need to not let him get that close to the rim.
Fires the three. Tough shot. Well defended. To Crawford. Here comes the screen. Jamal Crawford, 2 for 2. That's what you want.
It looks like he's using his ball handling to feel the game out. I know it looks like he's just playing around out there trying to get the fans going. That is true, but he's also finding his rhythm.
Here comes the screen to Williams. Going to launch beyond the arc. His first effort off the mark. Crawford from the outside, no good. Deep three at the buzzer. We played a quarter here on Valentine's Day. Jay and I are second quarter set to start. This is what we like. This game is certainly in the balance.
Well, both teams had their rhythm. They established the tempo that they wanted to play at. But ultimately, something has to give. Some team has to draw a line in the sand.
4-3. Jay, I don't know if you call that the shooter's touch, but they will take it.
Well, essentially, the touch did help the ball go in, Ed. I don't know. I might have to agree to disagree on that one.
He connects with the step back.
I don't know what halftime evaluation will be worse, the ankles or the bruised ego.
Here's a chance from long range. Great defense, forcing the miss.
Shooters shoot, period. I don't want to hear any excuses. That's doing what you're superior confidence.
Knocked loose. And that's going to be out of bounds off of George. So the Suns keep the possession. New blood coming in for both sides.
Number 21, Patrick Beverly. Into the game for Phoenix.
Out of bounds.
Come on, y'all, let's go get it. It's on up.
Substitutions, Phoenix. Into the game for the Los Angeles Clippers.
Kawhi Leonard rejects it.
Sent a message on that one, Ed.
Lets it fly from beyond the arc. Yes, give the advantage to the shooter.
He showed that he had great chemistry with his teammates on that shot. Keep getting him good looks, and the one will just keep scoring.
Here comes the screen. Booker to Kelly Oubre. Shot from the lane won't go.
So, Ed, my man P. Bev the other day made some comments on social media. I want to get your reaction. He said, I'll tell you right now, we are the best team in L.A. How do you feel about that?
Jay, since the Clippers moved from San Diego, I don't know if that's been the case once. Maybe going back a few years, but LeBron James is in L.A. now. I don't know if Patrick Beverly's right on that one. Grabs his own miss and scores. Good concentration.
Woo, did you see that? Eyes to the rim, and the rest was all net.
To Beverly.
Hit.
No, he can't guard you up here.
To Leonard. Beyond the arc for three. Shot off the mark. Good defense.
Great contest by the D, but I want to see the coaching staff call the same exact play the next possession. Get that offensive player the ball. Let him prove that it wasn't the D. It was more in his own head.
Short jumper stays out.
That's how you do it. You keep riding him to the basket, and if the refs aren't calling it, keep being physical. Keep knocking him off balance.
Lets it fly from long range. Now that's a contest.
Just because you're an elite shooter doesn't mean you need to shoot the ball every possession. Maybe give a head fake, crack into the defender, get to the free throw line, see the ball go in the hole.
Devin Booker. No good. Lobs it up, throws it down off the alley-oop pass.
Well, when you play for each other and not just for yourself, that's when great things happen. You essentially lose yourself in what the team is trying to accomplish. It's called unselfish basketball. And there's nothing more beautiful than rewarding your teammate with a nice pass and letting them finish for 2 or 3 points.
Porter to Booker. Montrezl Harrell sends it away. Rubio. Scores from the post.
You feel that? I see the confidence building.
LA Clippers with the basketball. To Leonard. Sizing up the defense. Short jumper off the mark. Knocked loose. It's a turnover as they head the other way.
Come on, let's dig in. Let's really build this lead.
Flushes down the slam. Jay, no question. There's an unspoken bond there.
Just on the same wavelength. And how about this? Sometimes a bad pass is a great pass when you have somebody as athletic as that can catch that anywhere and slam it down.
To Rubio. To Booker. From long range, Devin Booker in his own desert. No one in sight, and he takes advantage.
But it was how he created the shot. As a defender, there's a tendency to stand up when you stare at the ball. Offensive player recognized that, continuously moved without the ball. Bang, that's how he set it up.
Foot was on the line. It's a turnover. To Beverly. Leonard. He was smothered and still gets it to go down.
Big shout out to the athletic trainer for this team. It's obvious you've been doing all the preparation required of your team in the weight room in the offseason. Flex on them a little bit.
Look out, Devin Booker. Now 4 for 9.
I'm not sure that wasn't an offensive foul, but take it when you can get it.
Deep three at the buzzer. First half comes to an end. The Clippers have the lead.
The Clippers did
Tied game through the play here in the third. Clippers.
Let's go, fellas. It's go time.
Substitutions. Phoenix.
Surveys the floor. The screen sets him up for 2.
I wasn't necessarily sure which way that PNR was going, but I guess neither was the defense. That makes 2 of us.
Crawford to Mikal Bridges. To Rubio. Free throws.